I know what I forgot to do. Welcome everyone to where are we? We are at the Wednesday Night Live show. I was just thinking I
forgot the Wednesday Night Watch show.
Yeah, no. I was just thinking I totally fucking forgot to send Philip the link. So
I sent it to him.
Yeah, good. Oh, that's Allison. Allison, you are the best. You are the best. Welcome everyone to season 2, episode 2 of the Wednesday Night Live show. And joining us tonight, when he gets here, our guest host, Philip, will be joining us. Klingsberg. How do you say it, guys? Klingsberg.
Doesn't matter because he's not here, so he gets it butchered.
He's not here. Yeah. Also, our guest tonight is a good friend of the show. Matthew Salter is joining us tonight to share his new adventure in his life as a new member of the NCIA, the National Cannabis Industry Association. And let's not forget this. Look at this wonderful team that I get to work with every Wednesday. You know what? For shits and giggles, I'm going to do this. Oh my God, what is going on? I'll put you back. He has to be in that spot because
that's not right.
it won't work when he goes to share. Let's say hello to Timmy.
Hey everybody. Well, that's my talk to the people.
Save that one.
Hey everybody, how you doing? No, I just I've had a reasonably decent week. Same as always. Same as it ever was. And then I decided to test my stress levels today and build a miniature drum set out of wood. So right now I'm coming down from my drum set high.
How'd it go?
He's got
well, everything was fine until you break that first piece, Matthew, and then it's just all downhill from there.
Not to sniff the glue, right?
Well, it's funny that you mention that because I broke a couple pieces. They're pretty fragile, so you actually have to pay attention to what you're doing. And I'm like, fuck, I broke a piece. So then I'm running to every drawer in the house. I'm like, I don't have any glue. I don't have any super glue or anything. I found some old scrapbooking, tacky glue that you use for scrapbooking and stuff. And when I squeezed it out of the tube, it reminded me of the days in kindergarten when we used to eat the Elmer's glue pins.
Purple glue sticks taste like grapes. I mean,
exactly. I mean, it was kind of minty. It was kind of menthol. You know what? That's it. I blame Elmer's for getting me hooked on vaping.
I have to add to your story because that happened to me as well. But then right behind it was the ruler by the nun at the Catholic school hitting me in the back of the head to stop sniffing the Elmer's glue.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever got smacked on the hand, or I did get my ear pulled by Miss Bussy though. Miss Bussy didn't play around. You mouthed off in her class. She grabbed your ear and tugged you around.
The good old days of teacher torture.
Yeah. Yep. Good thing I still got 2 ears.
That's right. And Matthew, welcome to the show. How's your week going in sunny Florida?
It's not too bad. Life is insane and crazy, but I'm getting through it, having fun, and I was grateful you hit me up. I love coming on the show with you guys. It's always a good time. And
yeah, we love having you on the show.
Yes.
And Mr. Grumpy himself over there. Paul has agreed to do a blood pressure test live on the show.
Mm-hmm. Just say the word Foster's and watch his blood pressure rush.
I thought twice. I was going to ask him if he was drinking a Foster's tonight, but I thought twice about that.
No. Well, it's actually a Peroni.
Oh, Peroni, baby. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Come on over to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. Peroni? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it on the shelves here, Paul. So
what?
Not in my grocery store.
Bevmo. You have Bevmo.
I think we have Total Wine or whatever that is. They got all those.
I'm still getting used to beer and wine in grocery stores.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing to me ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I moved here from New York, I saw wine and stuff at Walgreens, and I was like, "What is this?"
I'm going there more often. Hold on, kids. I just need some hearing aid batteries. I'll be right back.
Right.
You don't understand.
It's like our Walmart's and liquor stores, and it's nuts. Florida's a lawless land. I think that's what I love about it the most. You can literally do anything down here. And you won't get any sort of trouble unless it's normal shit.
Yeah.
That's very true about Florida. I lived there for a few years, and when I was there, I could get away with just about anything. But as for you, John, no blood pressure testing on the show, period. Right? that ain't gonna fucking happen for a start.
We should all do it, and everybody use keywords to upset the other person. Like for Allie, I will just say Bloomberg, and then Allie's.
You know what? I'm leaving.
Tim would be Elmer's glue.
Yeah, I'm going to get me some Elmer's glue.
Yeah. All right, Paul. How's your week going?
And Matt Solder would be vegetarian or vegan.
Listen, I told my kids
it'll
they
just
can
be
anything
salad.
they want.
Salad.
2022, you can be anything you want, but you can't be vegan. You can't be vegetarian. Those are kicked out of the house offenses.
Yeah, you just have to say salad to Matthew, and his blood pressure will go up.
Don't get me wrong, I like a good salad, but I put steak in it. I put some chicken. You know?
Yeah,
boy. Well, that's salad. That's real salad.
That's a well-rounded salad. Yeah, that's good.
All the food groups, doesn't it? Yeah. So
that's how my grandmother used to eat salad. She would take steak and she'd slice it up, little thin slices of steak, in there with olive oil and apple cider vinegar. Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. So you're having a good week there, Paul? Tan,
so
all fucking tan. Look at this shit.
Well, yeah, but I've been out fishing. That's my quiet time now.
I want to tell you something. That picture you posted almost made me tear up. I love seeing pictures of like you and your dad when you're little fishing together. Anytime for some reason I see pictures like that, I get that Italian emotion going and that fire, and I'm like, that is such a great picture of you and your dad fishing. And how old were you in that picture?
I was 4.
Yeah, 5. That was like ages ago.
50 years this year. I'll be fishing. And
nice.
when I thought about it before I posted it, I went, shit, 50 years, half a century fishing. That's pretty cool when you think about it.
Yeah. And only, I don't know what the laws are there in Australia, but here you don't need a license until you're 12. So
here, once you're over 50, or if you're on any government benefit, you don't need a fishing license now.
Yeah.
So, or if you've been badly injured, so you don't need a fishing license.
So you've got all those qualifications.
Yeah.
Badly injured, over 50.
Yeah, but I funny story about that, because when I used to work in the fishing industry, I used to have a T-shirt that said "Fill it and release," and I got into so much trouble with that. So much trouble with fishing inspectors, like, because it's meant to be tag and release. I mean,
tag and release.
No, it isn't. It's fill it and release. It goes in your smoker. It goes in your fry pan. It goes in the barbecue. Fucking,
it goes everywhere in your stomach. Eventually.
Oh.
So you're having a great week. Good. We're gonna move over to Allie. You're always having a good week. Allie, how's your week going?
Nothing really going on. Yeah, it's been a busy week.
Bloomberg.
All right, you know what? It's been a busy week. I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now. So I am the VP for AVM now, and
Hold on, Allie. I got something for you. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. There it is. Bam, baby.
So we have a lot of fun stuff, a lot of super stressful stuff coming up, but really good stuff, I think, for the industry. And obviously I cannot talk about any of that right now, but eventually I will as soon as I can. Yep. But some exciting stuff, and I'm happy for Amanda, great opportunity for her. She's been killing it as an advocate for years, and, she's going to be, working for PMI, doing some great stuff with them. And I'm really happy for her. So really excited to get started and do some good things for the industry.
Is that still a thing? Arsenio's little fist.
Yeah, I
bumpy
mean,
thing?
for me,
I'm bringing it back.
Is
I'm bringing it back. Tim's bringing it back.
I'm bringing back the dog pound on the Arsenio show. Yeah,
he's got to be what, like 80 now?
I think so. Yeah, he actually looks like what he used to put makeup on in Coming to America.
Yeah,
Such a good movie.
yeah. Timmy, say hello to those people in the chat.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Wednesday Night Live Show. It's always great to see you guys in the chat. So let's just start from the bottom and work our way north because it's a lot of scrolling. I know there's a lot of people in here, a lot of the usuals here, but that's great because we all love hanging out every Wednesday. So Michael Redfern, great to see you, sir. Always great to see you in the chat. Addie Tooney, Addie in the house. There's the Lab Works again. Dusty Country Road, make me want to sing that song every time. Tom Morowitz, good to see you, sir. Did I say Michael Redfern? He was the first one out of the gate.
First one, right out
first
the
one out of
gate.
the gate. Pam Spraggins, good to see you. How are you, dear? Good to see you here on the show. I know we got somebody from Chile in here, and don't you say Chile? It's Chile. All right. So I'm gonna try to say it correct, and you let me know. Isnalivia if I said it wrong, but I'm going with Isnalivia, and I think I'm pretty close to being darn right because I've been to Taco Bell a few times.
When are you ever wrong, Tim?
I could pronounce shit good. That's me. That's me now.
I can pronounce it good.
I can pronounce shit good.
Good.
So good to see you here from Germany. So we have Chile and we have Germany in the house, and we have Australia, and I'm pretty sure we probably got a UK or in here somewhere if I can find one. Let's see. I'm still going. There's a lot of talking going on. Hold on one second. I didn't see. Is Mallory? There's Mallory. Mallory's at the top. You're getting to the top of the chat when Mallory's name shows up. She's always first. But that's it. That's it for the list. And I know we'll have more joining in here as the show goes on. So it's great to see everybody. And let's go.
New Zealand. I want to start the show off by saying,
Mowgli in here.
You
too.
done?
What's up, Mowgli?
You done Chile? Chile. Oh, wait. Bam. We got to ask.
There he is.
You're a little late, but tell us how your week's going, Philip.
Well, there's been so little going on.
I know, yeah. It's been totally boring.
There's nothing to talk about, right?
Are you sure you Allison did cohort list together before you got on the show? We did nothing.
Yes to whatever John just said. It's all it's all true. How's everyone? Happy New Year, good people.
Hey,
Happy
Philip,
New
good
Year's,
to see you, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
Good to see you. Hey, Al.
Hey.
Timothy.
And Matthew's up there. Say hello to Matthew.
Matt, how are you? It's good to see you, sir.
Good. Nice to meet you.
All right, I want to start the show off by saying something about a good friend of the show, and that person being Allison Wheeler. I have seen a lot of finger pointing. Amanda Wheeler. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of fingers pointing this last week, and it's kind of pisses me off. It really does piss me off. All those questioning Amanda's move. Ask yourself one question. All the work Amanda's done for this industry and community, has it not always been about saving this industry? I can't think of any advocacy article that didn't involve Amanda working her ass off. So before you start pointing fingers, ask yourself, what have you done to save this industry, and compare it to what Amanda does every day for the last year. So that's all I wanted to say. Kind of messed it up. Sorry, everybody. I'm on some medication. My back is killing me today. I am doing my best to stay in this straight up position right now and not move to the left or right.
Just duct tape yourself to your chair.
Dude, I have a pillow back there, a heating pad back there, and a salon, whatever that stupid name of that patch thing is that you put on your back.
It
begins with an S, I think. Yeah, and 4 baby aspirin.
You and Logan both. It's been a rough week. I had to go.
Yes, I'm on some drugs. Let's see. Let's get to this. Let's get to the guy up there. Let's get to Matthew. Brief history of the NCIA founders. Let me make sure. Hey, this is Wikipedia. So if it's wrong, go after whoever edited it. So Aaron Smith and Steve Fox, the organization was founded in late 2010 and is the first national trade group for cannabis industry in the United States and has nearly 2,000 member businesses. What is members businesses?
So basically, it's just different people within the cannabis industry. It could be cultivation, so farms. It could be manufacturers, testers, labs, people like me, consultants, lawyers. So many lawyers. God,
lawyers.
So many lawyers.
Everybody's got to have a good lawyer. So before we jump into questions, Matthew, take some time and share with our viewers your new title and the duties you have with the NCIA.
Absolutely. So I've been a member of NCIA for last year. I mean, it's kind of just been a natural progression from vape to hemp, and now hemp is kind of merging in with cannabis and everything. And being compliance consultant, it was just a natural move for me to go to cannabis. Well, like you said, they are the oldest cannabis, alliance out there, and I've just kind of been following along, seeing what they're doing, and I noticed that they had you could basically write a resume and send in headshots and all this, whatever, and they were picking people for different policy councils, and I think they have somewhere around 12 to 14 different councils that you can sit on or boards. And I mean, I'm pretty big into state regulations. I have been since I started vaping. I mean, being from New York, literally the state wanted to end our right to vape every single day of the week. They wanted nothing more. And now that they've legalized recreational cannabis, they're making a whole bunch of silly rules to go along with it that make zero sense, and it's just going to harming the industry and harming the consumers. And so I decided to make that shot in the dark. I put my resume in. I took a very terrible headshot, I might add. It looked more like a mugshot than a headshot, to be honest with you. And somehow, some way, they chose me to sit on the regulatory council for the state regulations. And I had my first meeting like a week ago, and I was definitely the odd man out. I'm not going to lie. I'm the only one there who's A, not a lawyer. B, didn't attend some Ivy League school. I mean, I got a high school diploma. I never went to college. I don't give a shit about college. And it's just, so I had to tell them, I'm like, I'm probably the least educated here, but here's what I've done with vape. And they were all like, whoa, like you had a rally at the White House. I'm like, yeah, kind of helped out with that. And, but so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to work with different states that have legislation coming up. We're going to work directly with senators and other politicians and kind of explain to them why or why not their regulations are going to make sense. We're going to help them craft some legislation. And just hopefully my goal is to kind of help a state ease into recreational. And I think it'd be pretty cool to at least help behind the scenes help consumers get access to medicine. So,
right. That's fantastic. And by the way, Matthew, I remember your postings on Facebook as being quite literary. So college be damned.
Wow. Listen, I got a whole lot of common sense behind me, and it's taken me this far in life. So
you're almost as long-winded as me, and that's a compliment. Not quite.
One of the things you said that is kind of something that I hear around here by a lot of people in that industry is the involvement of a lot of suits. And it seems like that generation that is getting involved in cannabis now, that have been involved in cannabis, let's be honest, for like 40, 50 years, have been smoking it and selling it, whatever. It seems like they're getting into the same kind of environment we were in the beginning of vaping, where everybody was about, well, we've been doing this in our garages, and this, you know what I mean? Does it seem like you get any of that from in there? Because I see it here. Like my son always brings it up. It's like all these suits are now involved. It seems like everything is just out of control. There's regulations, and they're the same way we are. That we want regulations, but it's not to the point where the small business guy can no longer stay in business because they're getting kind of pushed out.
The biggest thing I see with them, it is a lot of suits, but it's because they've had that 40 to 50 years of fighting to be able to exist. They're light years ahead of the vape industry and the hemp industry for that matter. Okay. They have learned the game so well to the point that they know they have to be suits. They know that they have to be lawyers. They have to be Ivy educated. They have to be equals to the people who are in charge and making these rules. So that way they're seen as equals. Because, take the vape industry, for instance. You get 10 vapors who walk into a state house and, well, they're probably going to get kicked out based on looks alone. I mean, to be honest with you, they're not going to get taken seriously whatsoever. Black hoodies and Bucky's shirts.
That's why you take Allison with you.
In front of me, sir.
But you get a bunch of suits who walk in there who have the credentials and everything, and they've really worked hard, all of these people in the cannabis industry. That's one thing that I can say just from being there for a week is the work these people have put in over the course of their lifetime of being an adult to get to where they are and get the industry to where it is now. Absolutely inspirational. I mean, I'd liken it to a steelworker busting their back every day. Certainly not as physical, but I mean, unless they got beat in a ride or something.
Hey, paper's heavy.
Well, then that causes me to ask a question. So, being that it would seem that the marijuana industry has kind of already taken their lumps and fought this grand battle to kind of get to where they are today, do you think that allows anyone from the vape advocacy space to maybe take a look at, some of the ways they went about doing it? I know we have a lot of, big time vape advocate, people come on and go, well, you do this and do this and do this. But now you have people who've kind of weathered the storm, fought that battle. Do you think that there's anything we can take from that to help us fight sort of, we're on the downward slide right now?
Absolutely. I think cannabis was vilified just as much as vaping was, if not more. I mean,
absolutely.
You guys come from the days of reefer madness, so you certainly know how bad adults pushed it. It's going to kill you, and you're going to die, and all you're going to turn into a crazy zombie.
Nancy Reagan knew what she was talking about.
Well, war on drugs, class A narcotic. I mean, you had people who were, had an eighth in their pocket getting thrown in the clink, for months, So I'm just saying, congratulations to that industry for finally kind of breaking through and people kind of seeing the reality of it. I'm just saying we're kind of fighting that battle now, where we're, we might as well be heroin addicts in an alleyway. You know what I mean?
I mean, the biggest thing we can take away is
20 years in the making for marijuana to be seeing its acceptance in polite society, so to speak. And we do have our work cut out for us. But I'm, like John said earlier, I think that strong allies are, we're gaining some. Allison, by the way, congratulations on joining ABM. I'm so proud of you. And I feel very much the same way that you do about Amanda Wheeler. I think that we have some interesting events going on. We have PMI has been looking for the following: someone from the regulatory FDA side of this issue, and they have been looking for someone not necessarily, well, let's just say they've been looking for someone from the mom and pop store advocacy, vape advocacy side of the issue. And I don't think it's been all that subtle either. And I'm very impressed at the way that they've done this. And more importantly, it's good to have resources, which is something that the vape that we've been fighting without for quite a while.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say for right now.
Sometimes the best way to get policy changed is to literally walk in the door, get appointed to the position, and be the reason that policy gets changed. I mean, look at the marshals over in Montana. Their vape shop was getting targeted every single month by bad legislation. Ron decided, I think he ran for Senate.
He did.
Got in, and now he's in Helena, I think it is, working with the legislators. He went in and literally wrote the bills that saved his business.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's taking it to the 50-yard line. Like, it's crazy.
It's an incredible story. Indiana's impressive too. Wow.
Okay, we talked a little bit earlier, so you're okay with answering this next question I got for you?
I will answer to the best of my ability. Because
this is something, like I said, this is something that comes up a lot in conversation with some of my friends and some of my family. And the big issue in 2023, of course, is the Safe Banking Act, which didn't get passed last year in Congress. To me, this is stupid. This is a stupid thing. And I understand it's federal, state is a lot different. But when you have businesses and people walking around with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in their pockets, putting their money in wall safes, under their beds and couches, hiding all this money in their homes, and not being able to put this money away in a bank and actually draw some interest, or actually even be able to invest that money in any way. Is that something you guys are working on with this new Congress coming in right now? Is that something you guys been talking about?
At the state level, not particularly. I know the federal side the federal team has been looking at that heavily, because I mean, like you said, you literally can't invest it. If you're like a brick and mortar dispensary, you're having to hire armored trucks to show up at your location 3-4 times a day to be able to safely take the cash. And let's say something happens to one of those armored trucks, which happens every single day of the week. Yeah. You can't go to the cops for it. You can't file a theft report, and they can only do so much. They're armed, but they can't exactly take a life just because they're getting robbed. So it's kind of like,
we are still talking about New York State, right?
New York City, California. I mean,
California, everywhere.
So even in places where it's been legalized and completely, as legalized as it can be without federal legalization.
Yeah, right. So
that's but it's a cash-only business. Yeah.
Okay, so basically the catch is if you, no FDIC, no federal legalization, period.
Can't put it in a bank, nothing.
So no matter how legal the state makes it, no matter how accessible the state makes it, your money in your business is not protected by anything other than what that state can provide, which is very little without federal legalization.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. They can't get insurance on their products or their businesses. They can't. I mean, it's a whole list of things that they can't get because they're considered federally illegal.
This was something that I saw a cannabis, either a distributor or a owner of shops was posting on Twitter about how his bank accounts were frozen. Yep. And I don't know the reasons, but I do believe that he was in Washington State, where I think it's legal.
Yep.
And I also think that he described it as a situation where it was simply arbitrary, no real reasoning, and he sounded pretty genuine. So it's someone I've seen before, and I have reason to doubt him. But that's a scary situation, to be honest.
It's insane. You got people with, let's be honest, probably millions just floating around in their homes. They're paying, they're paying to have special security at their homes. They got their, of course they're buying guns. We all know that they're buying lots of guns. So it's just a scary thought to think, and it goes all the way down the line. It goes down here. They're paying their employees with cash. So that employee, now that's what I was wondering. Can that employee take that cash? He could put that in the bank, right? He can. The employee can, but he can't.
The bank won't give him an account.
So the employee can't even get an account.
Well, the employee, like say the employee gets paid, right?
Right.
They could take that cash because it's technically a paycheck, and they could go put it in their bank. But the business itself can't even get a bank account because no bank will touch it.
And they can't incorporate or anything.
No, I mean,
no credit unions, nothing. No credit unions.
And I mean, Colorado, I just looked it up. Colorado in 2020 hit $2 billion in revenue off cannabis alone. It's $2 billion floating around physically. Yeah.
And what kind of tax benefits do these people get without any sort of federal legalization, or rather, what benefits?
You don't get tax benefits.
No, that's what I'm saying. Rather, what benefits are they being denied?
No exemptions or anything.
This sounds like a pretty decent beginning to an argument for federal legalization, if you ask me.
Right. And one thing that actually kind of I pulled up the actual legislation from last year on that, and there was the bottom line that caught my eye. It says, finally, the bill decreases the cap on the surplus funds of the Federal Reserve banks. Amounts exceeding this cap are deposited in the general fund of the Treasury. This is exactly why they're trying to push the Safe Banking Act through. It's not to help cannabis businesses. It's because all of that excess tax revenue that goes in, because the federal government can finally tax it, they're all going to get a piece of that pie, a big fat one. We're all going to be stoned and not care.
Yeah, which is funny to me that it was voted down. I know it came in late at the end of the session, so they kind of pushed it through and just kind of and didn't let it go through. But now they're trying to push it back through again. And I was just kind of wondering if they were going to try to actually make this a standalone bill and not try to get it, the typical Washington bullshit where it gets.
They'll never do that again.
It has to go in by itself. It's big enough of bill and enough money for it to be by itself.
I agree. I'm just saying at this point, I have no faith in our government ever trying to pass anything that was a standalone. Ever.
I would honestly say that something like this probably would not get passed until federal legalization happens. Which realistically it could happen next election cycle. I honestly think that's Biden's only chance of survival in this. If he legalized marijuana, you know how many people would vote for him? But at the same time, he's trying to nix menthol cigarettes. It's like, dude, stop killing your voter base.
There's some mixed feelings about whether or not it's actually going to get passed this time with some new faces there in Congress. So that was kind of like the big thing, like a lot of my friends are talking about, because it's a problem. You should feel safe in your own home. But how do you feel safe in your own home when the whole neighborhood knows you got $500,000 floating around in your house somewhere? I couldn't. I go back to the days when my grandmother used to shove money under her mattress. I mean, that was a little bit of money. I mean, we're talking lots and lots of money that's floating around that should be in a bank, or should be treated just
Florida, it's not too bad because you can own any gun you want to without a license. It's wonderful. You can defend everything you got. So
if I had a few $1 million floating around in my house, dude, there's going to be booby traps. I'm going to have guns in every drawer in the house.
My favorite thing now is if you have a medical marijuana card in Florida, they'll still give you a concealed carry permit. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just sad because it's just, they should be treated just like any other business, and and they should be able to invest that money, and a lot of these guys, from when I talk to them, unfortunately, all they've been doing is just keep reinvesting in their businesses. So they're buying better cameras, better equipment, because that's all they can do with that money. They're going out
that state what type of security they have to have. They have to have armed security 24/7. They have to have, I think one state it was like 37 different cameras just for a dispensary. It's got to face every angle. If you ever walk into a legal dispensary, it's nuts. It's worse than walking into a camera store.
Yeah,
it sounds a lot like. Let me see. We're not far off Sicario here.
Out here they have to have those cameras as well in the dispensary, and they all have to be working, and they have to be accessed at any time by the local government. So the city of Modesto should be able to pull into your video feed to see what's going on in your dispensary at any moment. It's just insane. And then again, you got all these guys just walking around. They can't invest that money in anything but their businesses, and they're walking around town paying everything in cash, going to pay their gas and electric bill cash. It's just like, it's a scary feeling. It's a scary feeling.
This is absolutely romper room. Are you kidding me? We've got a million different reasons why this is a bad idea. Okay? More guns, more cash, more people wanting to cash. This is a fucking fiasco.
Yeah.
Sorry. I cursed. I'm sorry.
We don't fucking care.
Yeah. If the cartel can fucking laundry the money.
I mean, but Matt, this is coming as somewhat of a surprise to me, because as much as I don't know, obviously no one really knows what you know about the industry, but I know enough. Rod from Vapor Radio was telling me years ago when they were transitioning into the cannabis space, that sort of thing, just how much bigger it was than I could have imagined. And boy, was he right. And let's just say the way that this is being slowly state by state, it's like I'm in Alabama. Yeah, we're likely to legalize anything but.
What part of Alabama?
Birmingham.
Oh, okay. You're only about 4 hours away from me.
Road
I'm
trip.
in Pensacola.
So Phil,
Phil,
you were not happy with the Georgia State win, were you?
Here we go.
We'll save it for another show.
No. I can feel. Let's just say that I was excited at the prospect of TCU playing in the big game? Did I have high hopes for a competitive match?
Yeah,
I did not. I did not.
the first 5 minutes.
It sure wasn't.
I counted 4 minutes and 21 seconds actually. But mostly, I went to Arizona State University, and we were talking about what are the chances of the Bloomberg Bloomberg professorship, et cetera. What are the chances of them actually changing their minds and reassessing their mission statement? I said something along the lines of Arizona State's chances of winning the Rose Bowl next year. And then I thought maybe that was, Arizona State's not going to the Rose Bowl next year. And it saddens my heart. Anyhow, I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in Denver. I've lived in Phoenix. I've lived in Atlanta. Lived in Tampa briefly, not nearly brief enough, goddammit. But I'm very surprised to hear about all the different ways in which, let's just say, I'm a big proponent of legalizing these drugs that are doing horrible things to people, especially in this state, where the slightest amount will get you thrown in jail. And let's just say law enforcement is still an entrepreneurial endeavor in this state. I think you know what I'm talking about.
That's what I love about down here. Not gonna lie, man.
And the Wild West, this is just idiotic. Yeah. But let's just say that they'll put people that have no money at all, they'll place their bail somewhere around, I can't possibly post that, and people have been in jail for months for having nothing more than a half ounce of just Mexicali swag, and there's nothing about that makes sense. And the state by state legalization, for instance, Brian in Denver, I love how he has access to cannabis anytime he wants, because I think there are certain people that benefit greatly, and it saddens me to hear that the people who are providing said cannabis don't have guns and stacks of cash and zero support from our federal government sounds like a very bad position to be in.
Yeah.
And wow.
Well, one of the things that I read too, and this was brought up by some friends of mine as well, and they talked about how it seems like all the attorney generals from all 50 states agreed to endorse the Safe Banking Act. So what do you think is holding it up?
Bureaucratic.
I mean, you got the governors saying, yeah, we would endorse this for obvious reasons. Safety for the general public is probably their main concern. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of money floating around. So I just wondering what else needs to be done as far as it's this, right? It's whose pockets are going to get filled with money and whose pockets aren't going to get filled with money.
That's a big part of it, because I mean, once you really legalize marijuana, you're going to see the opioid market drop off. You're going to see the cancer market drop off, and there's no stronger, more financially stable entity in this country than Big Pharma. Cannabis will literally go toe to toe with Big Pharma, and that's what they're trying to figure out before they legalize it. They have to figure out how to keep the cancer drugs rolling through without, people being able to use a medicinal plant that God gave us to get better. So it's like,
I have an idea. Let's cut the nicotine in cigarettes so people smoke more.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm not going to
Brilliant.
I put money into VLN stocks 2 years before they got approval. I knew what was going to happen. I'm like, wait, somebody's actually doing this? Oh, that's money.
Did you buy yourself a bowl of soup?
I think they have a big. Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Yeah, Paul, I'm kind of wondering, how's it over there? Is marijuana? Is it legal there? Is it illegal there?
No, it's illegal for the most part, but we've got the pharmaceutical industry all over it. It's, if you want like really good weed, you either get it from the street or you get it through a prescription. why does this sound very familiar?
Mhm.
It's but get this.
You don't have you don't have distilleries. You don't have dispensaries, do you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You go to a pharmacy and you pay 150 Australian dollars for 10 grams. And I look at that and I go, fucking what? That
15
doesn't
grams
work.
is not terrible, depending on what that currency rate is, the exchange.
It works out at around $10 a gram. That's.
I mean, if it's good weed, that's not bad.
Dude, no. They've actually got limits on the THC levels as well. So don't even go there. Right?
You're only allowed 10 grams a day.
Oh, fuck. That'd be me going out one night at a party rolling spliffs for everyone.
I think Florida, I can buy 7 ounces every 3 months, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all of that?
7 ounces?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That'd last me and my friends, a few weeks, and that'd be about the size of it.
It's so weird down here because, you call somebody on the phone, and they're like, "Hi, you have anxiety, right?" And you're like, "Yeah." Okay, meet the doctor behind this store downtown. And it's super shady. You literally drive your car around the store, and a doctor in a lab coat comes out, and he goes, "Oh, you're the gentleman with anxiety, right?" And it's the same thing he says to all 47 cars in the parking lot. He goes, if you bring us 3 more people, your next renewal will be free, and he hands you your card.
What?
His assistant goes to the computer and says, "We're issuing a max amount." And I can walk into a dispensary. They're like, "How much do you want? You can buy 7 ounces." I'm like, "Huh?" It's insane.
Card can't remember.
Okay, that just okay. Well, yeah, science. That's always a good thing, but dude, I need to go back to Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
The lawless land, baby. It's great.
Yeah, they got weed and vape, Paul. You need to get a move on that fast.
You don't even have to leave your house. You can just have all that shit Ubered in.
You can stone fist fight an alligator and nobody's gonna say a word.
Well, let me ask you. I don't follow. Yeah, I don't follow it that much, Matthew. But I mean, are there medical doctors backing up more today than it was, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
Because they're getting paid.
Yeah, they're getting paid now, baby.
Plus, a lot of doctors down here, they're getting away from insurance companies. They're actually, I know of at least 10 different doctors in my local area, like a neighborhood, that have opened up new practices that are self-pay, and then went and got the accreditation to be able to do the medical marijuana cards. It takes all of the liability off them from prescribing opiates, and literally their patients are getting better.
That is a very interesting point. No, that's a very interesting point. That is
Florida's so advanced. And they got the Florida man too. And they have Florida man.
And this is obviously all of Florida. This has nothing to do with individual municipalities or anything of that nature.
No,
so you have been hired to take alligator wrestling to New York City.
Yeah.
Yep.
They need it.
Right on.
We're going to liven things up a bit.
We're going to drop one rock right in front of Cuomo's house. Let's see how that goes.
Well, it's just as we all know, it's been just befuddling as hell to me how many states, like for example, Alabama, extremely hostile toward cannabis, but relatively vape friendly. And it just seems to that's very much a trend that we see. California, hey, let's smoke up. Is that nicotine? You fucking criminal, you.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand exactly how my people got so confused, but I'm trying very hard to tell them how to come back with,
Here's a safe shooting site in case you want to dose yourself with some heroin, but don't you fucking dare pick up that vape.
Bring a flavored vapor.
Don't you dare. Hey, that was Washington. That wasn't California. That was Washington.
Washington's another wild state. They have legal psilocybin. That just blows the fuck out of my mind.
Yeah,
Because that's the new craze now in the industry. Is everybody's coming out with a mushroom thing, and I'm like, listen, just because science can doesn't mean science should. You know, we don't need this stuff, but here we are.
But microdosing does work.
I believe in being mushrooms in moderation. Let's just say.
This was the article that I was kind of reading. It was from the Huff Post, I think. Yeah. And it was like 7 things that could totally kill weed legalization. And the first one made me laugh because not enough weed on opening day in Washington. That's the first one on there.
Washington, D.C. is legal. They're recreationalized.
So the problems are baby formula and weed.
Weed.
I get it. Yeah.
You got to have enough for opening day. Doesn't matter the rest of the year.
Rally in DC, I swear to God, every single younger person that was on our bus or whatever scored, I don't know, bags and bags of gummies while we were there. I'm like, what the hell happened? Where was I and why wasn't I invited?
We had somebody with us have somebody deliver. It was like an Uber delivery of carts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they delivered to our place in Arlington, and this very young lady who's very sweet.
Wasn't me.
God, she must have taken a bag's worth on the way back because, things got fun.
Yeah, we have fucking drive-through weed stores. That's great. I thought the drive-through liquor stores were crazy enough. Right, drive-through package stores.
Liquor stores are indeed still.
That's wild. But
they used to think that was crazy in Texas, having the drive-through liquor stores where guys are just driving through the drive-through liquor stores.
In Tempe, when I was in college, I thought to myself, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen." But in retrospect, it might have been a little bit irresponsible.
Hey, hang on 1 second, Matt. You just said a drive-through bud store.
Yeah,
is that what? Oh,
you literally pull up to the window, you tell them what you want, and you don't tell them, if you know your specific strains, go for it. But if you literally say to them, I got back pain, I've got headaches, and I need to sleep better, and they'll be like, you need to try this, and they'll bring a jar. They'll be like, how much you want? If it's flour, they'll weigh it right in front of you and everything. If it's a vape, they'll tell you the vape and everything.
They got menus like a Taco Bell. Meal number 1, number 2.
So New York, when they recreationalized, everything's completely ass backwards. But I went up and I went into one of the reservations because at the time the only place to legally sell it was the reservations. So I go into this reservation. It's like a candy store. I mean, wall to wall shelves, the big jars just filled with bud. And I'm like, finally, New York has done something worth a damn.
They did, but they fuck it up every time.
They just now conditionally approved licenses for people to sell. You know how people got around that? They left this neat little loophole where you could gift weed. So what these street guys were doing is they were going out and buying Crown Royal by the case. And they would sell the Crown Royal bags for $35. And with that $35 Crown Royal bag, you got a free eighth with it. Nice little gift for you.
How convenient.
Completely
that's just like the old days. Just take your pinch. Just take your pinch out of that. It's the same thing, man. It just goes back. It's different now. It feels like it's free now,
It still felt weird, dude. Like you can, and they did make it legal. You can smoke weed in New York wherever you can smoke tobacco. So you can walk down the middle of City Square with a blunt. And that to me was just like, man, I looking over my shoulders. The same streets I walked as a kid, scared shitless of getting popped by the cops. I'm now free to do this.
Yeah.
So,
this is number 2, the haze legal situation of medical pot in Washington. Number 3 was this one's the big one because I think this is the one that comes up a lot, and it's the one they use all the time. We use it here in our industry, and that's the safe hazards of edible marijuana. And they talk about the gummies and how the kids they're going to make a mistake. And I don't think mom and dad is going to leave the $40 bag of gummies on the fucking counter.
Gummies are expensive as shit.
You're
not going to mix those up.
Yeah, you're not going to just say, oh,
yeah. My kid eats a fucking gummy. I'm going to mess with them so hard. You dumb shit. I hope you're ready.
And number 4, marijuana becomes super cheap.
It's way cheaper than we were kids buying on the street. And that's another thing. I go to all these recreational states. I'm going, how the hell did I ever buy weed from the Jamaicans around the corner? Like, this is just that. It's almost like vaping e-liquid from a place that doesn't have a lab. It's like, how did I ever do that? How did I share somebody's vape and some random dude at the local vape shop? Dude, try this. I just made it. It's great. It's like, how did I put my mouth on that?
And that was the guy you only knew by first name only.
Right.
And
you
always hung out at the bike rack. You hung out at the bike rack or at every 7-Eleven. Yeah,
they're actually looking at putting dispensaries in every Circle K down here.
What?
and really, I sat down, I thought about it, I was talking to my wife about it. It's perfect the way the model is down here, because it has to be kind of like the liquor stores in Walmart. It has to be a separate entrance that's closed off from the main portion of the building.
Right.
And as soon as you walk in, it's very much like an Apple store. It is completely white, completely clean. And they have a receptionist, and you go to the receptionist. There's nothing about weed anywhere in the lobby. And you hand them your ID, you hand them your medical card. They pull you up in the state system. They say, oh, okay, you have this much left. A tender will be with you in a moment. You sit down. They call you by name to the back, and you're the only one back there. And you get personalized service and everything. So it's not like the general public sees it. No kids are going to be able to walk through that door. Straw purchases are moot because they have to check the state system. You have to have the proper licensing. I think it's the perfect case scenario to kind of bring it to the masses.
Yeah. Wow. And then get a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
I was about to
pretty good pizza too. I'm not gonna lie.
A hot dog and a big gulp.
Well, I was about to say, drive through Bud's beer and barbecue. That dude, you could sell that all through Florida.
Yeah. Should do a food truck.
I think a lot of people kind of forget that, this is something the industry, the cannabis industry has been trying to do for 200 years. It's not like they just started doing this. This battle's been going on for a long time. And that comes up all the time when we talk about vaping and pot. It's like, well, why is pot getting away with this? Or why are they getting to do this? Why do they have gummies? Why do they have all these flavors? And why can't we get this? And I always tell people, it's like, dude, they've been fighting this since the Mayflower.
Right. They've paid their dues. They're not afraid to give the government their cut. They're more than happy to give them a 65% tax on something and not cry or fight about it. They're more than happy to go seed to sale where everything is tracked from the time that seed goes into the dirt to the time that it's fully grown and being harvested. And most of those rules they put in themselves.
Yeah, but again, even like Ali has said this many times, we're the same way. We're willing to give in. We're willing to have some regulations.
What is the magic? What is it?
Yeah, just give us a general idea of what you want, and don't keep, like we always use it, but don't move the fucking goalpost. I mean, just keep moving. Right now, the goalpost is in the corner.
A little bit of transparency. Yeah.
They're still doing that too. They did it the other day to me, and I could have drove to the FDA office myself.
I mean, it's just sad that they've been fighting this battle for a long time, and it feels like they're getting away with a lot of stuff, and it seems like we're always taking 2-3 steps back, and every now and then getting lucky with something, But I mean, that's people don't realize this. That's been going on for a long time. Go ahead, Tim. I saw.
No, I was just gonna say. I think part of the problem is that the FDA got involved a little too much with us. I think that's a big key factor as to why we're under such scrutiny, because there's a lot of people whose heads are gonna roll if they don't do something about it. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
Let me ask you, Matthew and Ali and Phil, because you've been involved in this, but what could have been done different in 2016? Philip. It's quiet.
Okay. You're talking about the beginning of our association with our federal government. Yes. To be honest with you, I don't see a whole lot that could have been done better on our side. We might have, if everybody wants to assume that the government is going to absolutely bend you over every which way and backwards twice, then that might have been a good way to approach the situation. But I am someone that, you don't enter into any sort of, this is a good faith situation. And if you're going to enter that thinking that the government is going to not only move the goalposts, absolutely, have them raised and re-erected as statues, monuments, pillars, whatever. This has not been a situation that I think anyone could have prognosticated in 2016.
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen, the language that has been completely changed about the criteria for marketing authorization, does the benefit to adult smokers outweigh the risk to addicting a new generation? That was made up on the fly, as far as I can tell, and given prior notice, not a bit. So in retrospect, I think that people like Amanda, like Shar, I've not really met her, Shar, but I know how much they did to try and help small business owners apply. Matt, I think you were involved with quite a bit of that too, and you worked your asses off, and you did it all the right way, the way they asked. And it's a bitter situation. I myself have never owned a vape shop. I just spend all of my money in them. It's, but it is something that I try not to think too much about, because it literally, I don't know of anything I've ever been more stupefied by or angered by. But what I think the vapor industry at large did was follow the rules and do what was in the best interest of everyone. And bravo. And let's just say I look forward to Brian King's resignation.
Yeah. How about you, Matthew? You feel the same way?
I do and I don't. I think the only thing that we could have changed in 2016 is the exact same thing that's kept us alive for so long. And that's the fact that the vapor industry was built on the backs of felons and ex-cons, and ex-drug addicts for that matter. If we would have acted more like a business, we had cleaner branding off the rip, we had better manufacturing standards off the rip, we were open to paying taxes off the rip, and we operated like a legitimate business off the rip, I think we may have been a little bit more accepted. But I think if we did that, we would not have lasted as long against the government's battle as we have now. I think the simple fact that we are just a literal industry full of people who at one point in their lives made a living off circumventing the law and being creative in the things that they did to do what they wanted to do has translated so well to vaping that once it met the suits like Amanda, it's brought us to this point where we're at now. People can still go to a vape shop and buy vape liquid, even though technically speaking, the FDA has outlawed it all. And now we watch the FDA get lambasted by the Reagan-Udall Commission, and this scathing report that comes out. It's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful.
And it's also seemingly worthless at the moment.
It is. I think it may have a bigger play to it.
I hope so. I'm hoping, and I'm waiting. Let's just say I want to be optimistic. I have a great deal of reason to be cautiously optimistic.
I'm a hopeless hoper, no matter how bleak it looks.
Okay.
I had people telling me, dude, why are you going to try and file a PMTA? You know nothing about it. But you're right, I don't know nothing about it. Of course, only 6 companies have ever gotten one. But damn it, I'm going to get one too. I still have 9 applications in the running that haven't been RTA'd, haven't been MDO'd, nothing. I don't know why. I don't know what set me different from everybody else, but they're still there. And I'm still hopeful that I'm going to get an approval someday.
Matt, you read a book. Well done. Truly. And I think you're right. I don't think you're wrong. I think that the claw and scratch and fuck them, we're going to do whatever it takes to continue to survive is absolutely what's taken us to this point. And I think that somewhere around the time of Viali, whatever the hell you want to call it, that was the lowest point of I swear to God, it was just, I couldn't believe that was happening. But yes, we have people that are absolutely like the marshals who are just gonna do whatever, move mountains.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
Literally.
straighten their state out, and no fucking around here. And then
when I watch Yellowstone, I think of them, and I'm like, "Yep, that's that's the marshals right there."
Yeah, but the good people in Yellowstone, not the and on the other side we have Amanda, Greg, people that I love. I consider friends that know that do present well and have that law degree. That's well, I think Greg got it in Guatemala or something. I don't know. Like you said, college degree or not, what have you, it's having the ability to communicate effectively and not coming off sounding like someone who is just enraged and just blah, 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 blah. It's an intelligent conversation that is just beginning, and I hope it will continue. And I hope Reagan Udall and the plethora of ridiculously, out of all those comments, submissions made by FDA employees, let's just say if half of them are authentic, that's astonishing.
It is.
And if there is, let's just say I look forward to that making a difference in the most severe kind of way. And yes, there's no question about it. The combination of Califf and King is they're going to do pretty much anything they can without saying it or, to undermine the process. And I think the more articulately we call them out, the better.
Philip, I'll ask one question on that. If the worldwide community starts putting the thumb screws on these people and starts calling them out from ground up all the way to the top echelon within government, and especially within the FDA,
community or the community period?
No, the community on a whole in harm reduction. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's vaping, cannabis, alcohol, drugs, all of it.
So harm reduction as in the opiate harm reduction community, the Ryan Reagan
across the board, right? If we all start putting the thumb screws on these people, who is going to crack first?
Between who and who?
Between the public and the FDA. Who will crack first? And you don't understand the question. Okay.
I don't, obviously.
Okay. So the vaping community, the cannabis community, the opioid community, harm reduction on every level. If we put more pressure onto the FDA and put the thumb screws on and start asking for FOIA requests and things like that, who's going to break first? Is it going to be our side or their side? Or are they going to keep hiding?
I think I think what you're trying to say is harm reduction at large. People are very much involved, not only in vapor, but also very much proponents of safe supply, things of that nature. Yes, I think we have a duty to vaping advocacy, to whatever it takes to make this a single notion of drug harm reduction, period.
Correct. Yep.
And the sooner the better, because let's just say there are plenty of doctors advocating for safe supply and not so many for nicotine vaping. And I'm personally hoping that the associations, and I've made I tweet occasionally. I hope that some of these people, I believe they are starting to notice just how ridiculously far-fetched misinformation that our elected officials push on all over. So they're starting to notice. And I think the more accepting we are, like vital strategies is something that just, in my mind, I have a stroke every time I think about it. I used to be smart. Yes,
stop
I think
smoking that pot, Philip.
You know, I haven't even opened these yet. I love you, Al. I haven't even opened these yet because the other bottle you gave me, I took a half of one. I just woke up about 3 months ago.
Paul, I think if we
I
were
gave
able to
Philip some goodies when he came to the bus tour. Some Delta goodies.
Did she ask you how you were going to drive home? Just kidding.
I know he is way more mature than that. Okay, he's totally gonna wait.
No. I'm very, very mature. Yeah. No. I've never received a gift bag with as many just cool little, like, disposables and this and that, and yours are cheap lights.
Still going. Still going through them.
But I owe you a proper vape because the one that I brought you was it was bizarrely bad, and it was the only one that I've had that was bad. But what I want to say is this: harm reduction is harm reduction, and the more we realize that, the more unified we become, the better we are. And we have always been sort of a different faction of the harm reduction community, and that we need to work on that. And I think that is a huge point. And I hope to, I hope to help introduce everyone to each other. We can have, cocktails or surely.
Let me get back to a question for Matthew. Do you guys work with the, God damn it, the Marijuana Policy Project? Are you guys part of that? Are you guys work together with that group? Oh, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I don't have the answer to that question. I honestly don't know that.
Okay. All right. Then I'll leave it at that. I won't discuss it.
No, I really, like I said, I just had my first meeting last week.
Yeah, you just started, so it's tough. Yeah, I got notes from a bunch of people that that live here that deal with this every day, and they're one of the organizations that a lot of these people fund, and they basically go around. Their sole is policy reform in the United States. So they just
is this normal?
Kinda,
the group normal? Is that the group normal?
Marijuana Policy Project, MPP.
Oh, okay. Because we have a lot of the group normal without the A, just normal without the A. But they're in South Carolina a lot, trying to get people organized to do stuff to try to get cannabis legalized here, which they have their work cut out for them. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be. I think this group. I had to go to the famous Wikipedia, but they've been around quite a while. They've been around since 1995, so they've been doing it a little bit longer than you guys. And I think they're just about policy. So I think they just go around. Yeah, I don't think they have anything to do with small business or anything like that.
The famous who?
MPP. It's a Marijuana Policy Project.
I heard Wikipedia and I said, okay.
MPP.org, if you want to look it up. MPP.org. Yeah.
Matt, you had a question for me. What was it, dude?
Yeah, I was just reading this thing. It says the Marijuana Policy Project estimates that the market of illegal cannabis will reach $57 billion by 2030. $57 billion. That's a lot of tax money they're losing right now. No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah. Matt, you had a question for me. What was it, dude?
Yeah.
Oh no, Paul. I was just the answer to what you were saying. I think if we manage to get every harm reduction activist and group together to solely focus on the vaping issue and go after the FDA, it'd probably be the greatest revolution we've seen since the Boston Tea Party. Short of an armed revolution, which our whole country could use, but that's just my own, crazy views. I think if we all came together and we all went at them at once, there'd be no stopping us.
I was always thinking if cigarettes were only illegal.
If only.
If only.
You know what? I don't mind if people have access to cigarettes. They should be able to decide what they put in their body.
I absolutely
not that let them have that safer alternative.
Yeah. Fuck. If you want to smoke a menthol, smoke a fucking menthol. I don't give a shit.
You know what's in it. You're an adult. You can make that decision. That is for sure.
That would be one of the biggest moves against government and a federal regulator on the planet if everyone got together and just fucked shit up the right way.
Tell you what, though, I wouldn't want to stop there. Just saying.
Oh, dude, that would be so fun to watch.
The problem is, though, is that a lot
it
of
might be fun to watch, but it won't get a whole lot accomplished. I'm sorry.
Well, I've seen like cannabis advocates point the finger at vape and vice versa, you know, and that's definitely not the way to go. And it's very frustrating to see that, because it's like, come on now, you guys know where you've been. You don't want to put us there. Like, let's work together. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that mindset. They'd rather throw the blame on something else to make themselves look better rather than working at harm reduction as a whole.
No, I think we need to start looking at the vaping. Okay, the fight for safer alternatives, whatever you want to call it, has been going on for a fairly short amount of time relative to the fight for cannabis legalization, the fight for things like any number of drug reforms. This is a fairly new, albeit feisty battle, and I think that the more we look at it from the perspectives of those who have been fighting for drug harm reduction in general, the better. And I think we could stand to shut the hell up and listen for a while. Not only will we gain the respect of those we're listening to, but we might learn something.
One doctor that I can put into that fight straight away would be Alex Wodak from Australia. He's been in the trenches for almost 40 years and helped set up the safe injecting rooms here in Sydney or New South Wales, where I live. And he's been a great advocate for doing things like that. And
it's such a great humor that
he's given me some wise words over the last few months with what's going down here in Australia right now. He said, you've got to be very articulate in what you're going to say to them. Unless you're articulate, you're not going to get anywhere. And I've gone back over my submission now because we're under another submission process, because last 12 months it's been an absolute shit show. And we've watched the prescription model here in Australia with vaping build into a government-sanctioned black market. And that's the only way I can put it. I'm sorry. If anyone wants to correct me on that,
no, and of course,
go ahead.
Have the gall to be surprised. That's funny.
Well, you've been watching the stuff coming out of here and the absolute rubbish that's being put forward to the public through the media, and the misinformation is just completely out of control. I thought the US was bad. Australia is that's next level shit.
I don't think anything compares to the state of affairs in Australia.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this, ever. It doesn't matter whether you're doing cocaine, you're doing smack, whether you're taking acid. This is just next level shit. Where they're getting this information from is, I don't know who's writing it, but it's just, no, it shouldn't happen.
It's
lean back.
Pretty poor form, and it's not even, their arguments are just, they're ridiculous. I think the most atrocious thing I've read on Twitter in a while is, I believe her name is Simone. I cannot recall exactly. Her comments. She was, I guess, I don't know, sourced out to do a little research on vaping control in India. How India is a world leader in vaping control. Stricter, enforcement needs to be, implemented to keep a new generation from being addicted. This is an Australian speaking to a country with the largest, I think, other than China, the largest number of smokers in the world, about how they need stricter vaping control. It's banned in India, you crazy woman.
Yeah. I know. And
I've never heard of vaping control before, and I lost many neurons that day.
Oh, well, so did I, because I posted that in our private chat group, and I said, where the hell are you getting the balls to do something like this? Now we know exactly through New South Wales University, right, or Sydney University, I should say.
Simone Pettigrew, sorry.
Yeah, and their lovely little cabal of privately funded hoo-has. That's all I'm going to say, because Australia, sorry, yes, we are the petri dish. You don't know, Tom, not all of it. Not all of it yet.
Let me ask you something. Okay, India banned vaping, I believe, was it in 2020?
No, it was earlier.
Can't hear you, Tim.
It was earlier than that.
Yeah, I thought it was a little earlier than that, like 2018, 2019.
I remember waking up because I was still a commercial mixer then for a company, and everything overnight got shut down in India, and I lost everything. Literally, I think it was 2018, 2019, and
completely banned in 2019.
Yeah,
2019.
Everything just shut down, like overnight, and it was horrifying to watch. People that own vape shops in India, they had chains and padlocks and shit put on their properties overnight.
But it's even worse than that. I'm looking at the smoking prevalence in India over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
It looks like there was a fair decline. Okay,
yeah, correct.
What I'm trying to say is this. Okay, you've got years, 2005 to 2018, decline. 2019, increase.
Yep. Jackpot.
And they're talking about stepping up vaping control enforcement. This is just the stuff of, it'd be hilarious if it weren't actually happening.
Well, you've got a couple of very well-funded groups here now in Australia that are starting to churn out rhetoric, and you're seeing the front end of it now. There's certain people that we don't mention on this show, but
Bloomberg.
No.
I apologize for my transgression earlier.
No, not him. He's only a dickhead. He's only a dickhead in this game. It's his.
Paul, I like this, by the way. You look really, really, really beat up.
Sorry?
I like this, by the way. You look like you would, kick my ass. It looks good.
He's all fucking tanned and shit. He's been on the beach every day for the last
mafioso right there.
Hey man, we all have our
Bloomberg.
Look at this. This is, I don't know what kind of money this is. I don't know what the breakdown is.
1,000. Yeah.
Imprisonment up to 1 year.
3 years.
Yeah.
1 year for a first offense.
I don't know what 1 RS, 1 Luca, whatever that is. I don't know how much that is in dollar.
Rupee.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They don't mess around.
No. Oh, well, now our new health minister wants to double or go to 2.5 up to $500,000 for like vaping products from 200,000. So not a problem. But Phil, the key here in Australia is they're very well funded. The money is coming in through the back doors, and that other cat, Sandro, in Victoria, that wannabe doctor.
Can we put him on the list of people we do not mention?
Yeah, well, no, he needs to be hit with a fucking wrench. All right?
Paul, because, just say what you're gonna say. Stop.
Say what you really mean.
No, well, I'm saying what I want to say because
Yeah,
that
I know you
clown has caused more mischief over the past 12 months than any.
He is something of a miracle of evolution. I will say that.
He's done more damage than Swanson.
I like those
Chapman.
dinners. What are you talking about? I'm joking.
What?
I haven't had one of those in a while.
He
It was a joke. It was a joke.
he has caused more mischief here
Say hungry,
than
man.
any other doctor.
He looks
Or-
12 and he like rambles like there's a 4-alarm fire about things that are so easily looked up and debunked. I mean, he really is that obnoxious. The fact that he has a certain number of followers baffles me.
Well, he's ex-WHO for a start, right?
Wow, they have some very lenient hiring practices.
Yeah, no shit. Well, him, Turk, Swanson, Freeman, like all of them, right? Well, Turk's one of the money
schmuckery. We don't talk about him.
No, but he's but he's one of the money men for Bloomberg here in Australia. So there you go.
The guy's got like $150 followers. Who gives a shit? But yes, this Sandro apparently has some sway over people, and it's hard to believe. But let's just say that he hasn't been without some real pushback from people who know a thing or two. Much everyone that I respect on Twitter that knows about the history of yes, everything from doctors to whatever econometricians have gone and had a word with Sandro about his hysterically wrong takes, and I can't help but think that maybe we just let him howl and not give him quite as much attention as we do, because I really do think on too many occasions our justified comments about how wrong they are only draw more attention to what they're saying, right, wrong, or indifferent. So this is why I feel so much better now that I've muted the Turk.
Yeah,
he called me insensitive and pathetic 2 days ago. I'm hurt.
What?
Oh my God! He actually got something.
The audacity. The audacity of him to call me
He's
pathetic.
A bully. He's a bully.
God, he comments on like every single thing that I post.
Yeah, intellectually bereft. I kid you not. He's just a sandbox.
No, I love going after him whenever he posts stuff. So I'm not offended. I think the most miraculous part, and I'm not giving him any credit, is he's probably one of those people that is not really like at any level that you can say is reasonably like, oh, they blocked me. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I got blocked by X, Y, or Z. Like that fuckhead never blocks me. I can literally say, and short of like literally cussing him out and berating him, I can say pretty much whatever I want, and he lets it ride. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's cool because I know I'm going to get like 10, 15 likes on whatever I say, and yours get boop, goose eggs. Goose eggs.
This is why I have to give Yuka from Finland a lot of credit, because he did get blocked by Tahir for pointing out that his master, that man, that the Chappity Chapman, Mr. Simon Chapman, was just very wrong on one occasion, and Tahir immediately blocked him, and for that, I just can't help but be so proud of him.
It's like a badge of honor if you kind of get there. Like I don't have a problem with it. Like if you get shut down by one of them, because you know that you basically won when that happens. But then there's that other part of me where it's like I feel like I don't get a fair shot when like one of those idiots blocks you before you've even said one word. Like they just go down, they find somebody else's follower list, and they just go down their follower list and just block everybody that follows.
All I did was ask Simon Chapman for a light. All right.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I want to get back to Matthew real quick, guys. Matthew, I know it's only been a couple weeks, but have you found any similarities between the two industries so far that you being there?
No.
No.
I mean, I hate to bash the vape industry in any sort of way, but the cannabis industry, the professionalism's insane.
Please, constructive criticism, please.
The clean, I mean, the good
hold
guys.
on. Let me give him the spotlight. Hold on. Good. Say that again.
No, I really don't mean to bash the vape industry, but we do still have a very long way to come in terms of professionalism and being able to act like grown-ups.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're finally getting to the point where we don't have random people mixing in the back of vape shops or in their basements, for that matter. We finally got rid of all the absolutely horrendous marketing, and we finally have people with legal degrees and actually know what they're talking about, you know, going into these state hearings instead of just a bunch of cloud bros.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's exactly right. I think going back to the question that was asked earlier, is there anything that we could have done differently in the outset or onset, should say, of 2016? And to be honest with you, I think Philip hit it right on the head when he said there's probably not a whole lot that we could have done differently to really kind of stop the steam train that we've gotten to now. But if I had to be honest, all right, I'll be honest. I feel like the general, like the greater whole of the vaping community maybe kind of felt a little too bulletproof a little too soon. And when I say that, I don't mean that it's like, God, you don't want to fight for your right to vape and all that good stuff. This is not about people not, putting up their dukes a little bit along the way. My point is that it's like, they're not going to get rid of vaping. Like, no, they're just talking out of the side of their mouth. And they weren't. And that's the whole thing. Now, did we really know what to do on how to fight it from a boots on the ground perspective without legal degrees and without the industry, I should say the legislative know-how to get in there and kind of fight, other than sort of, raising a sign up above our head going, we vape, we vote kind of stuff. I just feel like maybe we should have been a little bit more cautious, as we moved forward, as the industry grew, instead of like moving to DeWalt boxes with 300 18650s in it and blowing smokestacks. Maybe we should have been a little bit more cautious about about how we were portraying ourselves as well.
Which I think if we would have stayed in that place.
When was it that, Matt, when did you quit smoking and start vaping? How long have you been vaping?
I've been vaping since, I want to say, 2014, 2015.
And do you mind me asking how old you are?
24, 23.
Question mark?
Question mark.
I have so much information that goes through my brain. I have to shove the good shit out.
Yeah, I'm with you. But the question I'm trying to get at is how many people of a certain age? This is okay. My greatest asset and my biggest flaw is that I found vaping close to 13 years ago when my friends were just screwing around with these, tornado teas and little like those those original things from my friend Wes walked around with a briefcase and a bunch of just random stuff like Boba's Bounty and Gorilla Juice and all that crap. We could barely get that stuff. It was just the beginning.
Yep.
And it worked. I was the lab rat, the guy that smoked more than anybody in the whole state. And 2.5 packs a day over 14 months, I managed to do it. And after that, it was just everybody was, patting my back. Well done. Somewhere between that and the sub-ohm revolution, and then the hey, I'm gonna leave the safety off my mech and go kiss my cousin and burn the house down. It's a bad story between them. But I didn't actually see what I should have seen.
Yeah, and I mean my take on that is
just that, clear.
Yeah, I mean my take on it in general is like, look, when something positive comes around, there's a general enthusiasm about it. And I think people want to try to move to that next level or tweak it or modify it or do something to it. I mean, you can take anything, you know, you get your, you get your game controller. Now they got a guy who you send it into him, he'll send it back to you, and you got rapid fire and all this other stuff. And I mean, there'll always be sort of, you know, that shiny that people want to reach. But I think you're right, Philip, when you say, like, because for me, it started out, and John too, a lot of people, you know, we started out like, man, I want to quit smoking. I'm going to try this thing. And of course, we wanted to improve that experience because blues weren't holding on to us. You know, we were like, I'm falling back to the cigarettes, you know, the V2s and the Halos and all, even those weren't doing it. And so we were always kind of looking for that next step to kind of get us to the point where we could lock in and say, hey, it's vaping and nothing else. But on the perimeter and the thing, because I don't get seen by the government.
By the way,
yeah, I don't get like, no one knows about me in my house, you know, trying out a clone mech, you know, with an RDA, but they'll sure as shit see a video online of some guy, you know, hooking up, you know, a vape mod to his ATV, you know, or something crazy. I'm embellishing, but what I'm saying is that I think everybody just thought it was safe. You know, the word safe. Oh, it's safer. It's safer. It's safer. And then, you know, it just, it exploded. And then there were some bad looks. And I think
it was at first, what I cut my teeth on was Totally Wicked UK is probably everything I ever had that literally helped me quit smoking came from them. I was Freebase 36 is the best I could get. It tasted like shit, but man, it worked. And then sometime, and I'm just as guilty as the next guy, you know, for, you know, going with the Atlantis and the sub tank and all that kind of crap. But when it came to all the different ways in which you can throw in this and, you know, the dual RDA, blah, 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 the mods with flashing lights that, like, you know, tell you when you're not, you know, hitting it hard enough. My God, just didn't, let's say there weren't enough people my age around to notice, and I wish I had. And I did speak up, and I did make sure that every lousy vape shop in this city that was not representing, how put it this way, representing actively in a very negative way, was found wanting. But there were far more people wanting cloud comps than tobacco harm reduction. And I would never look, I believe you should be able to do whatever the hell you want, but at that stage when we were, you know, we're not actually anything yet. We defy categorization. Yes, it would have been nice if we weren't quite so fond of ourselves where we were just ready to be, we reinvented parachute pants and, you know, the bright color.
Hey, I wore those once.
And
I think too, back in 2016, I think it was a new industry. A lot of young people became millionaires. It still blows me away that this money was just coming in hand fist, whatever that saying is,
hand over fist.
And it seemed like nobody was concerned about legislation. They weren't concerned about laws. They weren't concerned
of what was going on. It was pretty bad.
I mean, you didn't have a lot of people stopping to think that you're literally ingesting this. You're putting this into your body. And that's the big issue I had with, like, when I say vape shops mixing in the back. I come from a vape shop who mixed in the back. Our lab was in the back, and we made it a lab. But they didn't stop to think about those things. It's the same thing with the hemp guys and the mushroom guys, and they're not stopping to say we should test our products before we release them. We should do HPHCs. We should know exactly what this chemical formulation is going to do to a human being before we put it on the market. I hate those regulations, but I have to agree with those because that's what a responsible business would do. And that's exactly what cannabis does. That's so far different from vape. Before they put a product on the market, it's been tested from the time, like I said, it goes to the dirt to the time that it's processed. and it's tracked along the way. Everything's written down and it's reported to the state, and that's exactly And
in Florida, I have to say, when I first went through the vape shops around Florida, even like Destin, Pensacola, Orange Beach, whatever, I was shocked at the kind of crap that I saw, which leads me to say, in Birmingham, with the exception of a few that are no longer business, we have some outstanding operators.
Mm-hmm.
In Florida, man, there were just people selling like juice that got, like their own stuff. And yes, you're absolutely right. And that's something that I missed out on. I wasn't thinking very large. And I can only imagine the kind of just criminal stuff you've seen on shelves in your local. I barely give a rat's ass about what's.
Have you ever seen a pump wall shop?
What the heck is a pump wall?
So you walk in and they have like shelves and racks, and it's literally e-liquid flavoring.
Yeah.
And you literally they hand you an empty bottle and you say, "Oh, I think I'd like a strawberry watermelon today," and with no measurement, no knowledge of mixing, you go pump,
Yeah.
pump,
Slurpee.
We have some
and then you
shops
go to
around
the
here
guy
that are
behind
like
the
that.
counter. You say,
Really?
Can you have this be a
Yeah,
3
there are some
milligram?
shops around here.
And
Wow.
he pulls out a little pipette, a single-use pipette, and
Yep.
we hope it's 3 milligram, but it's probably 30 milligram.
Yeah.
Because you can buy automatic
Yeah, we have a juice bar, but
It doesn't
everything is
sound
measured. We
sanitary.
have a computer, everything.
Right.
You get gloves on.
Allison,
so
the
you
EJ
can-
Charleston
you can-
clean room, I've only
Yeah.
seen one other than that
And-
one, or a couple
Right.
of them.
Well, you saw our lab.
Your lab
You came to the warehouse and saw our lab, but then you also went to one of our retail stores. And we do have a licensed Mad Babes juice bar, but everything is done through the computer.
Right.
The person behind the counter is wearing gloves.
Right.
They measure everything out. We have the
There's a
nicotine pump.
right
It has
way
the
to
setting.
do it.
Let's just say
Yeah,
that there's nothing that's less than just ridiculously impressive about the operations that you have.
Thank
The company that got MDO'd and they had like the 1.5 million SKUs, they were a pump bar.
Yeah.
But they submitted a PMTA on that. I'm going, how are you filing all those combinations?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the same place that's here in South Carolina. Yeah.
That brings back like when you were a kid, you get your Slurpees.
I have to hear
you go in over there, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of banana.
Right, mixing your sodas. Yeah.
We call that a suicide, my friend.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. With like corn syrup and shit.
Yeah.
But I do my best to try and be a good patron to shops around here that do it right, and the shops that are most definitely doing it wrong, which are fewer and farther between than you would think. I'm absolutely going to put you out of business.
Yeah,
because there's just no time for that.
Right.
I think that good, true businesses that really want to help people quit smoking, that really are here for the right reasons, we wanted regulation. We felt like regulation is what makes you legitimate and ensures that your customers are getting, all of the stories they're seeing online back in the day with popcorn lung. You can kind of put those things at ease because you're regulated. I just don't think that we assumed that the regulations were going to be the way that they've been, and they're not fair, and they're not, they're lumping everyone into one type, and they're just blaming on flavors just to get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
And of course,
back in 2016, too,
evidence that most teenage vapors who are now in their early to mid 20s are not vaping anymore.
I mean, we scan every single ID of people that come in the door, whether you've been in a million times or it's your first time through the door. We scan your ID.
Yeah, that was a thing. Like in 2016, though, that was a thing. I mean, I didn't understand why people were buying e-liquid off of a Facebook page. I never did get that because I was the same way. I was thinking, I got to put this in my body. I'm inhaling this stuff.
I quit smoking to be healthier. Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where they're mixing. Where are they doing it in a clean? But do you think a lot of that had to do back in 2016? People's thinking, that process is like, I can get it here. If I can't get it at this vape shop, if you take it away from this, I can always go on Facebook. I can go on Instagram. I can order it. I can get it anytime I want. I don't have to go to this vape. I think that was a big part of the as lack of caring of what the government was going to do with vaping.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen that when states started pushing flavor bans and nic caps. They said, "Oh, the DIY market, let's go DIY," and the government said, "Okay, we'll start imposing on who can buy, commercial grade nicotine. You have to have a commercial license to buy it. Now you can't just order it online, or we'll completely stop the sale of raw nicotine."
Well, that took
online.
years, though, Matthew. That took years for them to realize they needed to stop the DIY because everyone was just. Let's be honest. Since 2016 today, we're a loophole industry. Anytime something's written, I swear to God, it seems
not
like
a
it's maybe
loophole. It's the next legal viable.
I know.
I'll say that's 40% of my day job is finding that next loophole.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like something could be written, and within 10 minutes, you could get on Twitter, and somebody in our industry already had it figured out. And it was just like, stop fucking around with loopholes and stand up and fight. This is ridiculous. Right. You can't. They're going to get smarter and smarter, and they did. They've gotten smarter and smarter and smarter.
Loopholes, we would have been dead a lot sooner.
Yeah,
those loopholes enabled us to start fighting the right way. I mean, synthetic nicotine.
That's why I never ever considered opening a shop, because it had way too many conflicts. And I make much more money investing in schmucks. No, I'm kidding. The true nature is that there are some outstanding store/chain operators that truly believe in harm reduction. Yeah. And then there are those that absolutely know nothing about the smoker's journey, that know nothing about true passionate addiction to combustible tobacco. And they are extraordinarily lost, and their sense of duty is
profit margin,
little to themselves and themselves only. And we have to be bigger than that. And I don't mean to sound like someone who is naive, but there has to be that core component of we are doing something that's important on a level that I can't quite articulate. I really don't know how many different ways I've said this to the people that work in these shops that try and explain what they can, look at a person who's trying, to quit smoking, trying vaping for the first time, and sense what they need instead of sell them what they want. Do you have any idea, how important? I mean, this.
Yeah, you said it right, and a little bit ago, and it's how I felt. And we talk about it all the time. I went from my mom calling me on the phone, go buy this. I just saw this on TV. Go buy this. It's going to work. And that was the blue. And it went from, like I said, being on the Phil Donahue show, him praising it, talking all this great, how it worked. Everything was so great. This is going to help smokers finally, to where we are today. And it's just like, it was quick, Phil. I mean, it was like, it went from this great product that's helping millions of people to,
I was a Logic Platinum guy.
Yeah, it was just shocking.
But
and now I sit and think about this, and I think to myself, would I still be smoke-free 12 years if I only had the blue? And no, I don't think I would be smoke-free if I only had the blue as my alternative.
That's why the PMTAs that are getting approved make no sense. Nobody's going to quit or stay quit with these.
And no one's going from a 3 milligram coming into a vape shop every week to get their shit to a 50 milligram or a 25 milligram.
I mean, I don't know. With the disposable market being what it is, I think we've all grown accustomed to high dosages of nicotine. But what a lot of people have to ask themselves is, much like the people who are just mixing in the back room, you don't know what's in it. I don't know what's in the Mark 10. I don't know what's in the Logic. I don't know. I know they're putting thousands of chemicals in cigarettes. What's stopping them from doing the same with vapes?
With some of those, I can give you. I can give you the recipes, but
falls over their DIY.
He's not talking about the legitimate. He's not talking about the legitimate stuff that's in there, Paul. He's talking about the stuff that we don't know about.
Well, Matt, you remember Alien Visions, right? The e-liquid.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, they decided at some point that they were only going to sell direct, and they weren't going to be going, selling to stores anymore. That was a dark time. Anyway, for me, I went to, all kinds of just junk. I tested all kinds of crap for my friends who had a store here called Vulcan Vape. And I think in 36 hours, I've never thrown up so many times. But what I did get by with was the Logic Platinum, the one that had, I think, the equivalent of 24 milligrams or the 5. And I guess that was Lauren or was that Lorla?
L'Oreal.
Is that what it was back then? I'm not sure.
Yeah, L'Oreal.
Okay. Anyway, and I tried the blues and I tried that and even enjoy. I tried them all and I thought that was the best we could do. But yeah, when no, I don't think I would have been able to stick with that and continue to stay smoke free. No way in hell.
Yeah,
it would never. No. Plus the overall expense of they were ridiculously expensive and kind of on the side of inconsistent.
Yeah.
Now,
and the other thing. Go ahead, Matthew. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, imagine if big tobacco, like the Mark 10 or the Blue, married technology similar to disposables now. I think then it could be a potential to get smokers to quit and keep quit. But until that happens, and they're just shitty cigalikes.
I'll send you photos later, Matt.
I think that's sort of where we have, hello, Amanda Wheeler.
Hello, Amanda Wheeler.
Because don't get me wrong, I hate big tobacco like the next guy, but if at the end of the day we have a product that actually works and that's all that exists.
Harm reduction is harm reduction. Yeah.
Right.
Harm reduction is harm reduction.
But you need to see what's in the pipeline right now, Matt.
Yeah.
You honestly do.
I mean, are we talking like the hail? Or are we talking about Marlboro's next thing?
No. You're talking about a whole new technology that PMI, BAT, and
water base.
No, that's completely different market, John. What we're talking about now is a whole new marketplace, whole new technology of go fuck yourself too. But we're talking about the big players moving into and buying up smaller developers and manufacturers to get what they needed, what they should have done 10 years ago. Simple as that. That's what they're doing.
The first disposable to get a PMTA, they're going to get billions of dollars from big tobacco.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the other thing that kind of makes me angry is the people that are not in our community, the non-smoker that's bucking everything for all of us. They act like we didn't do our research, and it's like I know everybody on this panel did their research, and I'm sure a lot of other people that got into vaping didn't just walk into a vape shop or didn't just walk into a convenience store and just started vaping. They did their homework. Most of the people do their homework. You did.
I accidentally quit. I had pneumonia, and I was a 3-pack-a-day smoker. I could not smoke a cigarette. It pissed me off to no end. I looked at my wife and I said, "Go to the store and give me one of those bullshitty cigarettes." Hopefully,
bullshitty.
I still have it on Facebook from like 11 years ago where I shit talked e-cigs. I called them all sorts of names, and she brought me one, and I go, "Holy shit, there's something to this."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I quit completely accidentally. Got a CE4 tank from the local head shop.
2014?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I still have my
Atlantis
picture of
for
my
the
blue
Ego or something.
I still have my picture of my first blue little pack. It's like, okay,
I got mine right on Instagram. The progression, the first 4 weeks of like
really terrible.
Like the CE4 to the
icon from my. I was having a vape on a plane. It was a great time.
Yeah. I mean, I even got praised on my Facebook post. It was like, good for you. Hope it works. Everybody was really excited, because it had such a great reputation at that time. Everything was like, yeah, this is going to work. I hear good things. So now where if I post something on vaping, it's like, oh, you're going to get cancer. You're going to die. You're going to this. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Go back to smoking 2 packs a fucking day of Camel filters? I mean, what do you want me to do?
I mean, I'll say I think the divide's greater now. I don't see too many people who are non-vapors or non-smokers really shitting on vaping anymore.
Because we're all closet vaping now.
Well, I don't know about that. I think
we talked about
the general
this. How
public understands now with all of the other bullshit our government has done and ways they've messed up. I think they looked at vaping and go, maybe they're right. Maybe they are getting scrutinized for no reason at all.
I mean, on your day-to-day, not at home or just walking around town, how many times do you run into another vapor that you see vaping?
There's a lot in South Carolina. I see a lot of people vaping.
If I'm driving down the street and I got a car in front of me, chances are clouds are coming out. And I'm going, another vapor.
Yeah.
That's good. Maybe it's just my area.
We were a lot alike. We were a lot. I wouldn't say I was accidental. I was a little bit more. I'm talking to Stu in the chat, but you know, I think when I finally quit, it was more accidental than anything. I mean, I was trying it to quit, but it just wasn't working.
I used the Logix, the little disposable Logix, when I lived in New York, just so I didn't have to go stand out in the snow. But that wasn't. It wasn't the battery life. Like they just died so fast, and they were so friggin' expensive.
Yeah.
Is that the one that came with like the fake cigarette pack to recharge it?
Yeah.
No, I just used to buy like the little singles. It did look like a little cigarette, but they were literally like at like the ShopRite. You're checking out at ShopRite, and they're hanging right there with the gum and stuff back then when you could just grab it up.
The little USB plug-in with the little square box with the little blue light on it. I just found one the other day in my closet drawer. I was like, oh, hey, I wonder if it still works. And I plugged it in and it started charging. I was like, working.
I have the
same thing as the single lights that were made by Totally Wicked / Joytech way back when they had a similar sort of connection. The Logic Platinum, which is very different from the other Logic, which was definitely not platinum, and literally not platinum. But those were sort of on the sweep, but they had the throat hit that I am so very much still in love with, and that's what kind of hurts me in my heart about salt nicotines. Whereas I think they are helping millions of people quit. They're not tough enough on what. I'd much rather have 12 to 18 freebase.
Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that all of us started with 8. Well, I don't know. Well,
18.
I know 18. Matthew, what'd you start with?
36.
36.
It's 24, 36, one of the two. I quickly went down though. I think within 2 weeks I was.
I didn't stay at 18 very long.
I got down to 6. They were going to bury me with an 18. That's what I used to.
When they stopped making 24 in like Grandmaster, hey Jay, I cried my eyes out.
Yeah,
because 18 just didn't do it, and it's not a sub-ohm flavor anyway. But 24 mixed with 36, the Totally Wicked stuff with their black label and red label. Their red label is not good. You don't want it. But mix those, and that worked. Believe me, I would have gone straight 36 all the time, even in those old little refillable mouthpiece little carts that fit in the cone shape Addy that you had to look at with the microscope to see the little LR edge at the top. But that works. But I don't care what you vape to not smoke. It should all be available.
That was the push. Remember what happened? I mean, it almost got impossible to find anything higher than 6 for a long time. It just seemed like everything just disappeared.
Once we went from 30s to 60s.
It was crazy. And then for me at the time, I don't use disposables at all unless I'm going hiking and I don't want to take my mods with me. I'll take a disposable with me and I'll put it in my bag, or I'm going somewhere where I know. But most of the time, I have a mod in my hand. And I watched that transition on the Zample Box family page from seeing all the hand checks with regular mods. All of a sudden, people were posting these smaller devices, and the Jewel was the big one. And I started seeing people that I know that have been vaping a long time.
But you don't consider Jewel a disposable, do you?
No. But I'm just saying that's what was taking place. I started seeing a lot of smaller devices and higher levels of nicotine. And I was thinking to myself, what are you guys doing? I go, you work so hard to get from 24 down to 3, and some of you guys are at 0. And now all of a sudden you're posting pictures of 50 milligram salt nicks. And I'm thinking to myself, you're just feeding yourself right back into that loop. And what are you going to do? Try now all of a sudden that 3, when you hit that 3, that's going to be fucking nothing for you. And you're going to go push yourself back up to 6.
Quitting 50 milligram disposables was harder for me than quitting smoking and getting to a 3.
Yeah. I've heard
well,
I've not experienced that, but I have heard of more than a few people say that. I don't know of anything I've ever done that was more difficult than quitting smoking. It was involuntary, but yeah, I think I can understand how that might be the case, because to me, salt nick, of any concentration, 50, what have you, is much easier on the throat. It's just an easier, it's like VL and cigarettes. They're cigarettes with training wheel.
Well,
but if you already got yourself down, but if you already got yourself down to 3, aren't you just torturing yourself going back up to 50?
Not really, because of certain situations in your life. You
vape more.
Yeah.
See, that's something
I'd
I
rather
was told
bump up my
right at the
nicotine than
beginning.
smoke a cigarette.
No, see, that's what I was told right at the beginning. When I went from 18 to 6 to 3, I was always told by guys that have been vaping a little longer than me, so what? Vape more. As long as you're not hitting a cigarette. So if you went from, say, 30 milligrams of e-liquid a day to 45, so what? Just keep vaping more of that.
That's interesting, because what we found scientifically, 50 milligram, to be honest with you, is almost a little bit better for you than 3 milligram.
Thank you.
Because
the chemistry,
the wattage, and that is associated with 3 milligrams.
You're getting, and you know what? It's kind of like skewering myself saying these words, and it hurts, but you're getting less chance of heavy metals, if any, from the coils. You're getting less chance of formaldehyde from the burnt cotton if the cotton does get burnt. You're inhaling less particulates, period. And this is things that have been proven through HPHC testing.
Yep.
Even though it's a higher nicotine content amount, and I will argue to the end of my days that it's easier to get addicted on 50 milligram, that it is technically healthier for you because you are consuming less of the product. You're taking shorter pulls. It's at a lower power. And it blew my mind when I found that out. I was disgusted.
So you're not. Are you? Just to clarify, I think you're. I believe that you are correct, but just to clarify, we're not just talking about 3 milligram e-liquid. We're talking about how 3 milligram e-liquid is typically vaped in a sub-ohm.
Right, because if you stuck a 3 milligram into a pod device, it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to satisfy you whatsoever.
So it's not necessarily the 3 milligram versus the 50. It is how it's vaped. Okay,
the delivery system does play a huge factor into that.
No,
it's like this versus this.
Yeah.
No, there's no question. And I think you put them both up next to a Hardy pack and a half a day Marlboro Light. They're pretty much they're a lot better.
Light years. I mean, 99%.
I mean,
that's what I was always told. It's just vape. If you got to vape more and stay away from cigarettes, then vape more. Big deal. And that's how I always looked at it. But like I said, I mean, I was kind of shocked. And in the beginning there, I was kind of like, what is everybody doing? Why is everybody all of a sudden vaping 50 milligrams again? I mean, to me, it's just like that transition was so hard, going from 24 to 18, to 6 and 3 was just so hard and so difficult. Why do I want to do that to myself and grab that?
One more question, Matt, if you don't mind. You said it was harder to quit salt nick than smoking. How much salt nick and what kind of device are we talking here? Because I'm curious, how long did it take and what were the circumstances?
So I was a diehard 3 milligram vapor for a really long time. I was a cloud bro. I love massive lipo mods. I love massive homemade mods, all that good stuff.
Apologize for nothing, sir.
I worked in vape shops, and we saw salt nick come in, and I knew after some research what salt nick was. It was the exact same thing. It was introducing the exact same thing to e-liquid that cigarette companies introduced to cigarettes to make them more addictive. the lactic acid, the benzoic acids.
Benzoic acids, right?
Because it passes through the blood-brain barrier a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. You get your nick fix faster. I am a man of zero moderation in life. It doesn't matter what it is. If I do it, I do it. So when I first started dabbling with things like 50 milligram, when Salt Nick first hit the market, Tab E-Liquid was one of the first 3 Salt Nicks on the market who were pre-8.8. I was like, well, it's not exactly my cup of tea. The flavor really isn't there, but the nick hit is. If I'm particularly stressed, it'd be great.
Okay.
With the advent of disposables at first sucked. It wasn't until disposables really figured out the hardware tech side of it that I grabbed a hold of it. And I mean, most people say, oh, a 50 milligram, 6 milliliter disposable will last me 3 to 4 days. I can blast through 2 to 3 a day. No problem. I was going through boxes of 10 every 3 days.
What?
What's
like
that?
Which ones?
Escobars, Ripe bars, you name them.
That is a serious conviction. Though.
I tried a few fumes. Jewel. I was big on Jewel for a while. Those mint pods were
mango.
Now, I have actually just recently rebroken my disposable habit, and I will pick up as much as my hands can hold.
Here we go.
I am literally 24 milligram now, on my way back down as much as possible. I mean, I probably have twice that on my desk alone from the same company, and I'm substituting with 3 milligram in between on a mech to try and get myself back down to that point. And I've landed right now. I'm at a 24 milligram Salt Nick. Flavor's killer. I'm using the Dot Pod. It's a great little device.
That's actually a good point, because now a lot of the Salt Nicks are not necessarily, you're not having to use small devices are not necessarily Salt Nick only.
Right. No, I run 12 milligram Watson in here. Oh man, tobacco flavor.
Watson, so good. So good, brother. Thank you. And that's what I typically use in my, small. I put that in the Caliburn, for Christ's sakes. Might as well. And
exactly. The Caliburn, the Vaporesso products,
and the 18 milligram Watson is so much better than that 36 or 50 milligram of, whether the OG or the,
Even going from 50 to 24, I notice I have less headaches. I have less of a thirst issue. I have less stomach aches. I was ingesting an insane amount of nicotine on a daily basis. Even back when I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day, I didn't have those issues. Now, that may just be a personal thing, but for me, going from the 3 packs of cigarettes a day and accidentally quitting with a little CE4 was a lot easier than trying to break that 50 milligram 2 to 3 disposable a day habit and bring it down. And I'm having to baby step it. Like, I even found I put a 35 milligram in a pod, and I'm like, it hit hard. But I got that rush. And I was like, oh, there it is. And I'm like, wait, no, I'm doing the wrong things here. I got to go back to 24.
So you're now back. Okay. So you're now using in Freebase
24 milligram.
Freebase.
No, it's salt. I'm working on the Freebase thing. 12 milligram Freebase is that prime spot for me with Freebase.
So
because 18 just tears me up.
Well, it's just that's the point where the flavor kind of 12 is perfect, 18 is maybe it's scorching, but the 18 or excuse me, the 12 you're using in your sub-ohm or
the sub-ohm I'm using 3 milligram.
3 mil.
Mazel tov.
So I'm using this for the nicotine, and I'm using this to kind of supplement in between, and it's a lot like a dual user. They have their cigarette in the morning to kick off their day, and then as they're driving to work, they're using their e-cig to try and get themselves to that next point of that next cigarette. And slowly they're able to remove the cigarettes, vape more, and make that full transition.
Yeah. And how long has this taken you?
I think I'm on about month 2 of dropping back down. And it's kind of tough in my position because I do a lot of compliance work for disposable companies. So, of course, it's like, oh, if you need anything, just let us know and let us send you a care package. And here's 25, 10 boxes. I look like my office looks like a vape shop, and it's like, so I have all of it at my hands. And I'm just like, oh, sweet.
Industry is just horrifying.
When I'm working 12 hours, 13 hours a day, it's let's go, and that and caffeine. Man,
but that's an interesting story, and one that I think that I thank you for sharing. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Tim, you're still on 6, right? You've been on 6 for a long time. You never went down to 3
I'm primarily 6, and then when I do use Nick Salt, like something like this, I'm only doing 25.
25.
But I don't use this all day long. This is just like a crutch thing. I just kind of pick it up when I want to be mobile or whatever. But I'm usually, case in point, I mean, this is right here. It's just I didn't touch it much over the show because I'm like, the fucking cotton is disgusting right now and it needs to be changed.
You're just too lazy to change that.
Yeah,
cotton.
I'm just like I don't really want to do this, but I will.
I have a whole closet full of mods and what have yous, and all the boxes categorized by brand and date and all that kind of stuff. She's gonna serve me with papers if I don't do something about this in post haste.
I'm trying to open the first vape museum. I have like Provari. I have the old dick butt mods.
I knew this was you.
I actually just sent a friend. He hit me up and he was like, "Dude, all my vapes are broken and I don't have the money to buy one." I sent him a brand new Segali 150 that I had hiding away with batteries, and he's like, "I still have an RDA." And he goes, "Where did you find a brand new Segali 150?" I go, "Dude, anytime a vape shop's
I hate you.
I call them and I'm like, "What do you got?" Like, what's
you still have yours, Tim?
Giving away so much stuff.
It's Segali 150. 100?
Yeah, it's up there on the shelf queen shelf.
It's the only mod I have ever had that I hate myself for giving away. I don't know what it is.
The 150, not the one with the temperature control, but the
it was
the IPv3.
No, it didn't.
The one with the that was 2S, the one that you had to screw the battery door on off.
Yep, still got a few of those over there.
Man, bulletproof. The 5, the 400.
I'm thinking in like 50 years, I can just put some glass display cases together in a nice little corner shop of town, and it's for world's first vaping museum.
Right,
$3 entry fee.
Yeah, just tell the story.
Remember how bummed you were when you realized you had to
mods
all your devices to 30 watts in order to sub-O? Wasn't that a bitch?
The E-Leaf, I have a few of those, the 30-watt E-Leafs, and
we still sell those.
Oh yeah,
dude, my 20-watt E-Leaf.
Hey, that original E-Leaf was a fucking tank. That thing was a tank. The little
we sell
silver
30
one.
watts still. We can't keep them in stock. People love them 30 watts with the K1 tank or VVC tank.
Yeah.
We got some old school people.
Some of the original Vicious Ant lipo mods I have still in the box, and
I liked my Fire Pegasus. I really did.
I have a whole closet now, actually, dedicated right next to me.
I've given away so many.
I've given most of my stuff away.
Yeah, everything.
I moved here from New York. I got a lot of people in need back home.
Everything that I've known for a fact that the person I give it to can't blow themselves up with. Yeah, I've given away. Like I'll try, the disposable, and I'm like, this is good. This is not good, and then give it to the guy that's helping me do some work on my house or whatever. It's just, I don't know. That's the only. I don't need anything else, and it's kind of not necessarily fiscally responsible of me, but it makes me feel pretty good.
Actually, there it is, the Pico. Yeah, the little
Picos were great.
Yeah, the very first. Well, it was sort of a side by side, but battery was one side and the 510 was the other. They were absolutely fucking genius. I remember that. Actually, I've got a micro Pico. Ever seen one of them where the tank drops into it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've still got one of them. Bogan sent that to me not long ago, and I said, "Does this thing still work?" Charged it up. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use you for after hours stuff."
Put into it, and
I think it's
well, now it's my weed tank when I go out partying.
They work so well for that. Oh, the old 510 adapters. Oh god, those come in so handy.
No shit.
We sell those too. We have a whole bin of those at work.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't own a vape shop, and I have a whole bin of those.
Vape shops across America were like, finally, my dead stock has purpose.
This is all so very true. I have to say, the only thing that I wish I still had was the Freak Show Tiny that I gave away. I don't know what I loved about that thing, but it just had a button, a big one. And it was the one that did the temperature control without you having to like set anything, and it kind of worked. And well, then it did.
Wow.
Hey, this is the ones I kept. Oh, can I can't do this.
You're too close. There you go.
What the fuck?
Bring it down.
I know what that is.
The Snow Wolf. Yeah, the Snow Wolf, right?
The first 200-watt mod to come to America. I waited 4 weeks for a shipment on a boat for that thing.
Oh, the white one? I mean, the original white. Yeah, that was that was so good, man.
Wow.
It was really good. I've forgotten so much about this.
Anchor.
Now that's a fancy one.
Yeah. I that's hello. You can send that to me, dickhead. you don't need that.
There you go.
You don't need that.
Yeah,
they made
squonking, and
they made great mods.
I can't get into squonking because, well, I'm gonna hurt myself.
It's a mess.
I'm gonna take one in I'm gonna take one in the eye, and then, well, you know.
How old is the e-liquid in that bottle? Jesus.
Oh yeah.
I think we found that on like.
It looks more like a friggin' pill.
No, it's not that old. Oh, it's old. I haven't used this in forever.
Right. Well, build something, put it on it, and we're gonna watch you vape that next week.
Oh, dude!
I will.
I have vape things that should not have been vaped in my life.
Your heating pad.
Paul, you ever vape hot sauce?
Yeah.
God.
There's not much I haven't. There's not much I haven't vaped.
Oh, I believe you.
It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're like, what can I smoke to get the same nicotine buzz? So you're putting like nutmeg and allspice into things, coffee grounds. It's like, what can I vape to get by when I'm a broke vapor? And I'm going to get the Humco $3.99 special from CVS and dropping
coffee grounds. Plus, if Judge Reinhold is correct, I believe they're great for bringing coke into the country.
God, don't try this at home, kids.
Please don't. We're just reminiscing.
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't. Hey guys, that's the end of our show. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, look.
They always say I need to work on my outro. Oh shit!
Well, it's so clean. Have you been keeping it, just polishing it daily?
Yeah, he polishes it.
They don't make mods like that anymore.
They really don't.
Once they came out with the alien, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah. Dude,
you know what?
The alien.
You're absolutely not wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah, but this.
Well, dude, that mod just like, I don't know what it was, but everybody fucking had one.
The alien?
Everybody had alien. Yeah. Everybody.
I think that was actually
watts, sleek looking.
It wasn't
every
color
imaginable.
So many colors.
Everything after the alien.
Colors, baby, the colors.
And then Smock forgot the reverse polarity chip in them, and it was all downhill from there. Actually, I can't tell you how many I had to warranty on that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only mod I've ever had that actually continually fired. I had I want to say it was an Aspire, a Cleto on top of it, the 400, the IPV 400X or something like that. Yeah. One of their cheaper. Anyway, never in my entire life of vaping, experience have I put one. I put it on the kitchen counter. I turned to go back to the stove where I had something. And I hear sizzle that is not to do with anything I have in the pail. This is a true story. I am not.
Anxiety attack a vapor could have.
I look around and I see this Cleto. I think it was just the Cleto, not the 120, on top of this round abomination, 400, and it's just firing at 70, 80 watts, and it won't stop firing. And I just went and grabbed it and just flipped the battery door. Batteries fell out.
It feels like you're pulling the pin out a grenade.
Throw it out the window.
And I think I went the very next morning, first thing, and I went to that shop and I said, take them off the shelves. Do it now.
Thing is possessed.
No. I'm just thinking, had that happened to some schmuck who's never owned a mod, he's like, The Nokia 5190 of the vape.
It just wasn't built like the Nokia phone. The Nokia phone, you could drop it in water, throw it across the street. It still worked. Yeah, the Alien was not that
The
rugged.
original Alien was fine. Then you got into the touchscreen joystick, whatever the hell that thing was. It was, not only gaudy as hell, but just a really shit mod. And yes, things went downhill after that. But the Alien
RDAs
itself,
with fans in them, and
and then of course there was a couple that had voice operation and lights, to let you know when you were really hitting it hard. And I thought to myself, this is not going to bode well.
My favorite was the Bluetooth speaker mod by Wismac.
Yes, and it was
Using it at
waterproof.
the same time as vaping.
Yes.
Party in your pants, man.
And it was waterproof. You could take it to the pool.
Here we go.
There are some people that swore that thing sounded great. There's a lot of people that say that speaker actually sounded.
Oh yeah, I
pretty
had
good.
one. I love that thing.
Bad.
John, I'm here to tell you that they lied to you. It doesn't sound great. It makes sound. It's passable.
Man.
It's passable.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm a snob.
Yeah, we used to before we go, we used to do I used to do a post on the Zamble Box page, and I was always asking people, what do they want to see next added to the mod, because we started seeing all these things, the lights and the Bluetooth, and people were like, yeah, I want a garage door opener. I want it set up to open my garage door in my vape so I don't have to look for it. I mean, there was some creative.
Is fantastic. And I say this this whatever Gen 200, it's tiny. I've dropped it every day twice with authority. It actually is pretty damn accurate, and it doesn't. Let's say it doesn't look horrible. It's just it's done well.
The snobbery? Do you think the snobbery is gone like it was back in 2015, 2016?
Yes.
It was like. It's not there anymore.
And I really hope so.
Chemo no longer exists.
Yeah. It's dead. It's dead.
Now, don't get me wrong. They still sell $600 to $800 mods out in the world. I mean, there's some handcrafted, beautiful pieces.
Vicious Ant. Fuck. Vicious Ant.
What, this stuff?
Yeah, I got to take out a small loan. Take a second on my mortgage to order something from Japan.
Crystal encrusted mech mod. That's still around.
Hey Tim, what was that mod that was made out of it was made out of a meteorite?
Yeah, there was one. I can't remember the company now, but you can still find it online. Yeah, it was made out of what they claimed to be actual meteorite. It was a mech mod. I think it cost some ungodly amount of money, like 15 grand.
The asteroid mod, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I just can't remember the name of it. I could probably look it up. It looked cool as shit, but I wasn't gonna pay what they wanted for it. And then
spend more than $1,000 on a mod. Are you really gonna head around town and hey man, check?
That thing would never leave the fucking house.
I spent $450 on this one, and I used it religiously.
Well, no, that's different. I mean, I can understand somewhere up to and including $500 for something that is literally never ever going to be anything but functional. But the ones that are mostly aesthetically pleasing as opposed to functionally just incredible and made out of everything in the world but shit.
Here, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 minute.
How do we know it's authentic meteorite?
Yeah. And let's not forget the bling bling that Dot Mod came out with.
They still sell it. They still got it. They still
sell that thing.
The bling bling.
I
never really associated bling bling with Dot Mod, but
oh yeah, no, I'm a big Dot Mod fan. But
one concept I wish they would have actually taken further was that ultrasonic wave mod.
Yeah,
where it didn't actually use a heating element, but it was an ultrasonic wave that made it vape.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be the newest fucking thing on the market, the biggest thing, and I'm like, that right there, that's awesome, and no, didn't go anywhere.
Actually,
no, SX Mini's working on that again.
Really?
But, Tim, were you sharing, Tim?
Yeah, stop.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we saw that one. Yeah, we know about that one.
Fucking
$1,800.
Here we go. Now Ali wants it.
Yeah, that
is the Louis Vuitton of mods.
I'll do it again.
Well,
It's kind of hard to verify. Like
I put it back up, Tim. What happened? There you go. There it is.
Oh, okay, that's better.
It was by Relic.
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Meteor.
This is their claim. I mean, you can buy into it if you want to, but
47 billion years ago that was formed. So you're paying for that 47 million.
Well,
years.
that's your grandfather did,
right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get it anymore, but you know,
no.
I'm sure if you searched hard enough, you could find one.
Yeah,
you could probably get one on like eBay.
The Meteor black market mod page somewhere.
All right, I'm just going to be the guy to say that is some really stupid shit.
Oh yeah.
What chips in there? No, I'm kidding.
It doesn't. You can't go to the actual product page anymore.
I can't tell you that.
But it's a mech mod, so maybe it has what do they call that? The little. I guarantee you that thing don't have any one of those little chips in it.
So you should leave the
well,
safety
it's a
off
meteorite, so it has to have better connectivity, and it's got to have better. What do you
no
call
voltage
that?
drop at all?
Yeah, voltage dropping on that mod, baby.
Actually,
you're only as good as your batteries, bro.
Matt, I've got one for you. This is I only think there was a few of these made. You can correct me. One of the Tug Lifes that was made in the US, with a stabwood door.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is nice.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that's functional and attractive.
Tug Lifes were like
that's a suit mod.
Tug Life, you were
a suit mod.
Ken Schneider actually has brought up a good point. The new dot mod Revo stick uses a super capacitor instead of a battery.
Correct.
Full charge from dead in like 5 to 7 minutes. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And 12 milligram watts in here, stellar.
I cannot tell you how glad it makes my heart to hear 12 milligram Watson is being vaped on the show.
I vape 12 milligram and everything, literally now. I'm over fucking bullshit stuff.
All right, guys, we're done.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I thought you said we were done 20 minutes ago, but here we
go. I gotta hit the sack.
Actually, I thought the shows were only an hour long, so I'm really confused.
2.
That was 3 shows ago.
Yeah, right there.
Matt, thanks so much for sharing today. I really appreciate what you had to say. Thank you.
No problem. I'm always happy to come on and enjoy being invited.
Well, you guys can come back whenever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you probably would love for you to come back on when Madison comes back on, and she's an advocate for cannabis, and she knows a lot more about it. So hopefully we get you two together. I think it's an interesting thing to see how that's developing and becoming, an industry that we hope that someday the vaping industry can get to.
Congrats on the new job, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, if we had 2.5 million to give to lobbyists, I think we would be.
I'm working on it.
I kid.
One day.
I always said if I win that mega lottery thing that goes on, oh man, the havoc I would wreak for the vaping industry on behalf of it.
Yeah.
Non-governmental son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're fun. We would never see you. You'd be in the Bahamas.
I'm building moats down in Florida with gators, man. I'm going to the FDA building and I'm buying my way through that door so I can punch whoever's in the office in face. Remember Caleb? What's up, dude?
I'm actually convinced on this one. He's being sincere.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Philip, for joining us. Thank you, Matthew, Tim, Paul, and Allie. We'll see everybody next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.